Guys, Manscaped is celebrating fresh ball fall this year with pumpkin spice and helping you look nice. Get ready for the holiday season by going to manscaped.com. Use the promo code Chael. That's going to get you 20% off plus free shipping. It's time to join the 9 million men worldwide using Manscaped and get the kit that covers it all, the Performance Package 4.0. It starts with a Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology that reduces cuts, a 7,000 RPM motor, and a built-in 4,000K LED spotlight. That's not all. The Performance Package comes with post-shave products like the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver Ball Spray Toner to keep you smelling amazing with a soothing aloe vera formula. The Performance Package 4.0 caps it off with 2 free gifts, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Kick off your fall at manscaped.com. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you use the promo code Chael today. Or guys, just click on the link below. All right, guys. Slip it in my closet here. Get a little peace and quiet. My family's in the living room. We're watching the Misfits boxing fight, so a little bit loud. So I want to give you guys a quick breakdown here. Danis and Paul. There was, and let's just start at the very beginning if you guys didn't see this. This production is outstanding, by the way. I mean, I really have to give it to Mams, Taylor, DAZN, these folks that are doing this. It's a beautiful product. And Paul walks first. I'd be very curious as to why Paul walked first. I took it as a sign of respect to Dillon, who's been a jiu-jitsu world champion, who's a signed Bellator fighter. Who of the two of them, maybe they put him in the category of a real fighter? I mean, right, for lack of other word, I thought it was very respectful that they walked Dillon second. That's the point I'm trying to make. So at any rate, they get there. And when they face him off in the middle, Paul says to him, "I forgive you." And he says it to him again and again and again. Very calmly, he says, "I forgive you." Now, as far as head games go, that's about the best I've ever seen. In fact, I don't know of one that I can state for you that I've ever seen in my life that would be more effective than telling a guy right there in that moment, "I forgive you." So, all right, set that aside. While they're doing the face-off, more importantly than the audio effect of "I forgive you," was the visual. These two are not remotely the same size, right? You got Dillon's in there with a heavyweight. Paul looked great. Look, great big old arms on him. He's a tall guy. Gosh, I bet you he stands just under 6'3". Paul's great big guy. But he's towering over Dillon. Okay, the fight starts. Paul was throwing ones and twos, and he'd throw him to the head, he'd throw him to the body. If he could throw a one and he could touch you, then he would throw a two. And I love that. I mean, that's just good boxing. That's just good fighting. Clayton Hires, who trained me, he'd say that every single day. If you can touch him with one hand, you can touch him with the other. So don't touch him with one hand and not touch him with the other. And Paul would take this upstairs, and then he'd go right to the midsection. Not looking for livers and kidneys, not looking for hooks, not looking for all that pretty stuff. Straights, ba-boom, change elevation, ba-boom, again to the body. Come right back upstairs, right? Stand big and tall, throw two to the head, change elevation, throw to the body. And he was quick. I turned to my wife, I said, "Man, this guy's fast." Pauls are such good athletes. They are such naturally good athletes. And this is a very wild thing to go into, right? When you got money and you don't need to fight, you're doing it for fun. Not to mention he's not even a main event. I mean, this was really about a marketing play for Prime. You really can't put your body in the line of fire, right? There's been plenty of drinks out there. Never saw the CEO of Coca-Cola or Budweiser or Coke or anybody go out and box as a way of marketing. It's kind of a special thing, right? But I'm starting to see it. I'm seeing this big guy. And I'm seeing these straights. I'm seeing the guy that can listen. I'm seeing the basics. I'm seeing good footwork. Okay, great. Round 1 done. Round 2 done. Round 3 done. Round 4 done. I'm going to go quickly because they were all the same, which is Dillon had his hands up. He's doing what we call a cage, where you put both hands up, right? And think of boxing gloves. Holding a camera with one hand, but think of both hands up. So you get those big old 16-ounce gloves on, 14-ounce gloves on, you're really quite covered. Wouldn't work with MMA gloves. It's one of the reasons kickboxers don't generally transition quickly into MMA. Some of the things that they would do for defense with the big gloves just doesn't work. But I'll bring to you, Dillon's walking him down, and the announcers are carrying him. They're covering him, saying, hey, look, he's taking some pep out of his step. Then one of Glover Teixeira, Alex Pierre, one of their boxing trainers, contacts Ariel Helwani. He's listening to the broadcast. He's listening to the announcers giving Dillon a hard time, saying, hey, man, it's time to fight. Dillon's not fighting. And the announcer says, and the boxing coach says, hey, look, I told him to do this. This was our plan. Walk him down, take some pep out of his step, use up some of that energy, and then go after him. Okay, fine. Now, that's what we thought we were seeing anyway. It's just a matter of the announcers weren't giving Dillon a lot of slack because it was only a 6-round fight. And to do that for the first round would be understandable. To go out and do that round after round, they were starting to get a little anxious. And Dillon did have some good moments. Like when Dillon throws a hook, it was great. Dillon threw an uppercut that missed, but it was just this beautiful uppercut. And I'll give Paul his due. Like, Dillon's strategy, eventually you run out of time, right? You can knock a guy out. Same with MMA. You can knock him out. You can finish him. You can submit him. Or you can have more points when time runs out. So this was a points game. Paul was racking them up. Fine. Towards the end of the fight, I got to bring you this one moment because at the end of the fight, Dillon had already feinted a guillotine choke. And it was a little stronger than, say, what Nate Diaz did to Jake Paul. It looked like Dillon was looking for it a little bit longer. He hit a double leg and came to a body lock, but he let it go. He was purely doing that for the cameras. I'm just bringing it to you. He wasn't like looking to take him down and, cheat and do something bad. He was looking to add a little excitement to the fight. But at one point in the fight, Logan has a corner man. They called it security. The announcer called it security. I don't really know what the distinction is. If he's with you and he's in your corner, he's a corner man. Either way, he's Logan's guy and that guy gets into the ring while the fight is active. Now, I thought, and I'll admit for you, I'm not bullish on this. I don't know these rules inside and out. You got the Queensberry rules. You got the unified rules. They're fighting over in England. Is it the WBO, WBC, IBF? What rules are we going by? Is it the English boxing committee's rules? Right? The point is I don't know the rule, but I do know under many jurisdictions, if your corner gets into the ring, any member of your corner gets into the ring during active time, simply meaning not during the break when they're supposed to be there. If they get in at any time, it's an automatic disqualification. Let me give you an example. Peter McNeely fought Mike Tyson. Peter McNeely's cornermen were in the ring. They're given ice, they're given water, they're talking to their guy in between rounds. It's time to get out. The round begins, and one of the cornermen hasn't gotten through the ropes yet. So now you have a cornerman that's in the ring at a time he's not supposed to be. Automatic disqualification. That's how that fight ended, and Mike Tyson won, officially by disqualification. So I thought, hey, wait a minute, that security guard jumped in there. He can't do that. That's a disqualification. And I wanted to make sure I was right before I brought this to you guys, so I took it to Big John. And John said, well, Chael, you can. That is against the rule. And you can disqualify a guy. John says, but you could also disqualify Dillon for the guillotine choke and the double leg. I said, no, John, I understand that. What I'm asking very specifically, not is it eligible for disqualification. Is it a mandatory disqualification? And John said no. He said, no, you got that wrong. It would be at the referee's discretion. So I bring that to you just because, could you imagine, right? Like there's some high points and they're back and forth. And Logan says he forgave him. It's a real question, is he a man of his word? Can't tell a guy you forgive him. Oh, by the way, I'm going to sue you on top of that. If you forgive him, you forgive him. He said he forgave him. I hope that he means it. Logan's a stud. There's no way around it. His brother's a stud. Man, these guys are legit tough guys. I don't know anybody else that could go out and do this. I really don't. I've never met them. My whole life, I've been around tough people. I don't know anybody who part-time as a hobby could go into professional boxing and then have the endurance to hold up for 18 hard minutes, which is what he did tonight, right? 6 rounds times 3. 18 hard minutes is a lifetime of work. And he did it in his spare time. I'll give him his due. But he did say he forgives him. I hope he means it. Dillon went out there. Dillon did his part. People didn't think he was going to show up. He went out there and fought. He had a game plan. Whether you like it or not, he had a plan. He showed respect to his coaches. He did the game plan. The coach even weighed in and said, this is what I asked him to do. Everybody did what they were supposed to, and we were entertained. So how about we all take a deep breath give these guys a little bit of credit.